Good afternoon. Okay, so we don't have too much to discuss before we look at the video today. One milestone, Pat Noonan up to his 100th already, so well done to Pat. Want to just remind everyone that the league has a low tolerance of runners not doing their job properly. So if you do, and I know that we're out there to umpire the game, sometimes it's hard to focus too much on things like this. But if you do notice runners hanging around more than they should, just remind that their job is to get on, deliver the message and get off. You can do that fairly politely and let them get the message. If they want to keep on wasting time out there, then after you've given a warning, of course, you can pay a free kick. And if there's any inappropriate communication with players and umpires, then we need to step in and take some action. So free kicks or cards can certainly be used in those circumstances and have been done this year. So the clubs have been reminded of the responsibilities of runners. So hopefully we don't have any issues, but just be aware that, sometimes they step out of line and we need to take action. With the coaching notes I send out, there'll be a quiz, which a 20 multiple choice quiz that we'll use for next Monday's Zoom meeting. I'd like to do one or two of them a year. Corey's given me a link for the presentation dinner, so you can get on and book your tickets. I'll put the link on the website, so whenever you're ready to buy those, you can. And that's all the notes I have before we get on the coaching video. So now's a good time. If anyone has a question from the weekend, your game or an AdFL game or anything else you want to bring up, feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, Colin, I do. Sean here.
Yeah, sure.
So the ball, we umpired at Pulteney on the weekend, and the ball was kicked towards goal and hit the tree.
Yep.
The foliage of the tree, and then came back into play.
Yep.
So the tree was overhanging the boundary line. I'd not experienced that before. All play stopped, and I did stop the game and balled it up. Apparently, I should have let it go. Is that correct?
Yeah. So hey, look, I'm not too fast because whatever you did, it's such a rare event. But yeah, I guess the instruction is generally if that happens, just call play on and let it go. But yeah. And there are a couple of grounds where there's overhanging trees. I know it's happened at Moorfield Park before. But yeah, like I think there's a roof rule in the rule book. I don't know whether there's a tree rule, but yeah. Under normal circumstances, just call play on. If there's any doubt whether it's gone out or not and it was going to go out, just it's no big deal to call a ball up or call out of bounds. It's such a rare thing. But the general instruction is just call play on. Anyone else?
Colin, I just had a question.
Sure, mate.
And multiple times, like in both games on the weekend, if a player was down and injured, or just on the ground, all the players seem to want to stop the game, rising from like the Lockie Schultz incident, I think, in the AFL.
Yeah.
That's not correct, is it? It's if they're in the way, like if they just like rolled their ankle or just slow to get up, you don't stop the game if the ball is nowhere near them or anything.
So really, I used to get told unless it was a stretch, you don't need to stop. But I think obviously these days things are a little bit more sensitive than that. If you have a concern about player safety, then no one's going to complain if you stop the play. So don't keep play going at all costs. I stopped the play on the weekend where it looked like the guy had been shot and was going to need a stretcher off. And the moment I blew time on, of course, he jumped straight back up. So we're not going to always get it right. We're not medical professionals. We're not doctors.
Yeah.
But I guess if there's concern from players about it, doesn't hurt to stop it when you can.
More the other way around, like us, the guy just landed on his ankle, rolled it. He was down. The ball moved on, handed off down the other end of the ground, and they were calling to stop the play down the other end. And he's just, as he's like getting up with the trainer and limping off. I didn't think that was necessary at all. So,
well, I guess the only thing is if the ball comes back quickly and he's hobbling.
Yeah, if it's near him, but it wasn't at all.
Yeah, no, I take your point.
Yes.
Not every case is going to be the same. I guess,
Yeah.
you're not going to be criticised these days. Certainly with what's happened at AFL, if you do want to stop the play and allow the player to go off, but if you think play continues safely, then that's fine. But yeah, I guess we've also got to be aware in the situations where there's close games in games with no time on. If they're, that you don't want to just stop it just because someone's gone down because they may be trying to milk the clock. But having said that, the rule is in games with no time on that the timekeepers can stop the clock if you indicate that you're calling time on. So, not that they always do, but that's the rule that they can. So yeah, I guess if you think that the player is genuine and that there is going to be some time before they get off, err on the side of stopping the play these days. It's just, like you say, players are much more aware of it because of what's happened at AFL. I should also mention too, it's not for us to diagnose as well. If we think someone has got concussed and we're the only one on the ground that thinks they need to get sent off, it's not really our job to tell them to get off. In that case, you can probably alert a trainer that you're a bit worried about a certain player and get them to go check it out. But we're not to stop the game and insist they go off. Because at the end of the day, it's not the umpire's responsibility to diagnose and treat people with concussion.
Thank
But
you.
yeah. What was that, mate?
Oh, I said thank you. No worries.
Yeah,
That
no,
makes more sense.
it is a tricky one. It is definitely a tricky one. But yeah, these days you're not going to get criticised for being overly cautious. I think players and others are more inclined to want the game to be stopped in an abundance of caution at times. Marquita.
Well, hang on. Hi, how are you, Colin? It's a
Yeah.
positive one. I'd just like to congratulate Alison doing the Power Cup Grand Final. I think it was a wonderful thing that you got to do something that's part of her dreams to be out there with the AFL logo.
Yeah, no, it was a big day for Alison, and certainly to run at Adelaide Oval is a great experience, and we do get the chance to allow people to umpire out there, and good on Alison. I heard she did a good job too. So yeah. Thanks, Marquita. All right. Anyone else before we move on? Okay, let's have a look at the coaching video. Hopefully you've had a chance to have a look at it. Went up late last night. And okay. All right. Ian, you want to unmute yourself?
That me, Colin?
Yeah, mate.
Good.
Had a chance to have a look?
I did, but I just played the video. I can't remember what it was now, so
No worries. All right.
Which
Yeah.
Ian?
They do well once again to get a mark and get the repeat inside 50. Over the top, gets the free kick. He could take the advantage. In the end, the advantage has been paid, so it's going to be wrapped up here.
All right. What'd you make of all that?
Yeah, I think from memory, what happened there was a push in the back in the mark, so that was a free kick. Then the Lions player has taken the ball, and I think he has taken the advantage, and it got called advantage, and then he stopped, so play on, would be my view.
Okay. So the rule is these days that, the player chooses whether there's been advantage. Of course, there's always that, I guess, uncertainty if they have had time to decide or not. And when it's close to go in this case, I would rather you just delay the whistle slightly just to see that it is going to be an advantage because there's clear infringement. And if Joel had actually delayed the whistle slightly here and realised that it wasn't going to be an advantage, he would have not then blown advantage. So it's a tricky one. Personally, I would have rather in this case to allow the free kick to stand. The bloke that took it as the whistle was going took a couple of steps and then realised he was going to be in a bad position and then end up giving the ball up really. So yeah, I think the best result here would have been not calling advantage and letting him take his kick. So it's just a matter of delaying that advantage call to make sure it is an advantage. Does that all make sense? Anyone want to query that or make any other point? All right, John?
Yeah, Cole, it's Rob here.
Yeah, mate.
Sometimes it can be tough because they take a kick as soon as you blow your whistle and it goes to a contest down, not too far downfield. And you're like, oh, that's a 50-50 and it's hard to tell if they take advantage. So I've been caught out every now and again where I don't pay advantage because it's going to a pretty tight contest.
Yeah. So if it's straight away after you've blown the free kick and you're not sure if they've chosen to take advantage, you're okay. I think it's okay to bring it back. But it's probably more important when it's close to goal, because by allowing advantage in this, the quick advantage call means that they didn't get a shot on goal. Pretty costly in this case. So I take your point, it can be tough, but around goal in particular, just delay that whistle slightly before you call it. Ian, you want to have a go at the next one? As in Ian Gore?
Yeah.
Oh, you just unmuted yourself, mate. Sorry, you just muted yourself. Yep. All right.
I can't remember it, but I did it. I had a look at it.
A little bit of miscommunication there.
Better play.
The 23 minutes. Noble again. I reckon he's been one of Shock's best. He's certainly got his hand on the ball more than anyone today so far.
What'd you make of that?
Yeah, we were last touch as opposed to last possession, so I was happy with the throw-in and no free kick.
Yeah. So what's the reason for not paying a free kick?
Well, because it was last. It was a sort of soccer. Wasn't a last possession.
Okay. So I know what you're trying to get at, and you're getting to the right answer. So the question is, was it a deliberate kick or was it an accidental kick? And so,
from the camera viewpoint, it was accidental.
He sort of put his foot out to stop the ball, and then it sort of rolled off his foot. And I guess if you're of the opinion that it is a deliberate kick in your mind, you're 100% certain, pay the free kick. But if you're not sure if that's deliberate or accidental, then you just get them to throw it in there and decide to throw it in. All right. I've got an extension of that in the quiz, but we'll talk about that next week. And John, you want to come on?
Yes, mate.
You've had a chance to have a look?
Yeah, I have.
Cool. All right.
Heading down O'Malley. One of two players that played in their 2013 grand final all 2 seasons ago. And that's a fantastic call, Matty Harris. I'm getting around the umpire there because that was a textbook deliberate.
I don't know why I picked that one because that just gave Matt a big head. But anyway, what did you make of that, John?
As far as I can tell, the commentator was pretty much on point. He didn't show anywhere near the required attempt to keep the ball in play.
Yeah. So I guess the question for us is there any other reason why he did what he did? And if there's any doubt, then you would call a throw-in. But I think we can all agree that is just like a deliberate, I'm just getting this ball over the boundary line. So the while we have last possession, those real obvious knocks over the line can be paid to deliver out of bounds. We don't pay it too often, but that was a good one there by Matt. Thanks, John. All right, we'll play out the rest of the video unless there's any other questions on any of those. Okay.
Need to be a bit
Control getting a play.
that. We're back in the
Different
field,
elements
out
for
view
keeping
of
control.
hands.
So early in the game, this
umpire says
example
that's a
is
sling tackle.
sling tackle.
Go back to the centre of the ground and
Not a huge amount in it, but really good to play these early on. So if you see anything wrong with the tackle early on, it shows that to the players that you're going to penalise tackles which are even slightly dangerous, and it will generally mean that they're less likely to offend and perhaps do more dangerous tackles later in the game.
No, he had.
So
the young kids didn't know who he
early in
was.
the
That was
game.
anything. They were like, "Who's this old bugger?"
Get over the ball.
Well, we've seen aggressive
Protecting
approach
the player
there from Sacred
from the
Heart.
ball.
Good decision there. It's pretty willing and tight, isn't it? Both
Early on
teams,
in the game.
no one taking a
Again,
backward seat. But this is what happens.
standard. And this one here, a really good pick up. I think it was Robbo that picked it up. Just a push in the back when the players are running towards the ball. Easily missed, but good positioning, good awareness. So being aware of what's happening off the ball, this is a great pickup from Johnny Bass. Just the arm being pulled to the side. That's very hard to pick up when you're throwing the ball up, but
in a really dangerous spot here.
First 3 goals of the game to the Eastern Park Demons last time these two played in that qualifying final. Then the Salisbury had to work hard and get back into it.
Pick up those type of free kick.
It's going to be a free kick here.
Yeah, top of the goals.
Get it towards Paynham's.
And
sorry,
here, potentially
Broadview scored 50,
free kick.
but
The tackle
Paynham
would have been happy with the free kick there, but wasn't paid. But the aftermath.
Wallaby tries to get there, but the ball looks like it.
So yeah, the question mark whether there was a missed free kick for a tackle there, but let's just say that there wasn't one there, and the play did continue. The fact that the player got up and off the side pushed the player into the ground, there was a good awareness of what was happening off the ball. So part of keeping control of a game is letting the players know what you want. The communication piece. Doesn't always mean
Tommy K, down to the boundary, please. Lucky goal.
To keep control. So in this
yes,
case
boys,
here,
just having a little bit of a look on Zach Smith. It's just a cut above his eye, so don't be touched or anything. He'll be back out there in a minute.
Watching.
They're up and about at the moment. In front of their crowd.
In there to,
There's a bit happening over there. Connor Drum's involved. Jack Frost comes to lend a hand.
Because they know that he's there.
putting some pressure on the scoreboard.
This one here.
Ball's trailing. A little bit of action going on behind the footy here.
Just Trevor, just getting stuck in and saying, look, you know, we know how to win grand finals and
presence and voice allows the players to know that. So this is a really important lesson for first year umpires in particular, but a reminder for all umpires is just delay your vision on the last act of play. So when you're a player, when you're a spectator, you're just watching the ball. Your eyes follow the ball. But as an umpire, you can't afford to do that, because if there's a kick or handball, and you miss what happened next, it's probably because your eyes are following the ball instead of just delaying that vision on the player. So some good route disposals or FADs in these examples here. The kick, and then just late bringing up. Again, if you move your head too quickly, you might miss that. And then just keep control of the game. If the players know that you're penalising. This one here, you can see that there's just a late thing to the ground. And by paying the free kick, getting in there, avoids any further escalation. So this one here, the ball comes out and kicks away and then is slung to the ground, so paid down the field. Again, not keeping your eyes on the ball, just keeping your eyes on the player that's disposing on it, just making sure that there's no issue. And number one aim is player safety.
No one from either.
So if there's any concerns, I've got concerns with my internet at the moment. It's not. the video. I'll
Underneath
release
it, no one
later,
from
but
either
this
team
one here.
is able to. He
With
didn't have the ball there,
tackle
wouldn't have
late to
fought
the ground.
Roberts. So Roberts will win the
Not
free.
an awful lineup, but enough for it to be
Taylor
penalised.
Roberts.
And just keep
Just
the lead on
great.
team.
Just needs to find that connection piece. Dangerous. Beautiful
No
ball there.
problem
Well
with that
done. That was great
contest.
play.
But
Might
here,
have been
that's the
Fletcher Wiseman
clumsy,
back there, was it? Not sure who it was.
taking the ground ahead.
No, it was actually Jack Scott. We're just going to head down to Lockie on the boundary.
He doesn't actually
Yeah,
get
boys,
there and
just got
do
some
it again
information
from
for you.
present. So good
Tap down by Westminster.
control up
Cleared out by
here,
Pearce.
here, like Cody's
Goes into a forward
a really
50.
unnecessary late bump.
Player running after it here.
And a little bit of nastiness here. And that's just kept the example.
Well, John Cox is coming in.
So, taking that ship from the private sayings. If there's
I don't
stuff
know.
going on here,
I wouldn't mind seeing that on
you can
replay.
put that
Might
put
be a
up
video
here.
on that.
A player is slung to the ground when this video wants to play. Once again.
Well, John Cox is coming in.
Have a look here. So in this example, it's really important you get into it.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing that on replay.
Might have to get
Well,
Hugo
well,
on that.
well,
Don't
once
mind
we-
us,
once
though.
we've had the melee.
Like happens
Once
here
we've
with the
had the
players
melee.
on the ground.
25.
Yeah,
Not
the
like
melee.
that, but that's the umpire trying to take a bit of authority. Come on, boys, let's get on with it.
They can hear the
Coming to
commentators
support
say
was
exactly
Montgomery.
that. So I really
So they're taking time, he is. And a little bit going on again. Got to be careful they don't turn it around. They have turned it over. So that was a gimme
really
to Montgomery. It wasn't him that did the work. And this is Joshua O'Leary and
Looking to hit the halfway mark at 4 and 5, and there's a decent chance
So Alex
that the fifth team will be 4 and 5. It might not be
And a
Georgie.
reversal again. Players haven't learned.
marking interference. He paid the mark and then I think he was going to pay 25, but it's certainly that late, really quite clumsy, nasty contact. He actually cards the player here, but in the follow-on from that late spoiling attempt, there's another player that comes in to remonstrate and he reverses it. So he's paid a free kick and carded for the late contact and sent the player off that did that, but he's also reversed it for the player coming in. And
Have they? It's a
Hit the halfway mark at 4 and 5, and there's a
really
decent
well handled.
chance
So yeah, that's a card worthy.
that the fifth team
And
will
then
be
the
4 and
players
5.
push
It
the
might
ground
not be
for-
and a
Georgie.
reversal again. Players haven't learned, have
but
they? It's
it's the player that did
you put yourself in the player's shoes on that.
contact that gets sent off. So the video is be strong if you don't take control, the players will. Not going to get all games by really strong control, but you're going to have some that do. And when you're required to step in and take control, it's really important we step up to the plate. All right, any questions on any of that? No. All right. So I'll put the link in the notes for you to have another look at the video if you want to. We will have the quiz attached to the notes, so we'll use that next week. There won't be a video next week; it'll just be the quiz. And we've actually got 2 weeks to go until we have a bye round. It's all the year is flying by, and we start to get into the colder weather, and this is where the footy can be a bit tougher to umpire. But well done so far. It's the year's going pretty well. There's always a few things to deal with, but I'm pretty happy with things so far. Anything else before we wind up?
It's Rob here. Colin, just one final question.
Yeah, Rob Midland, yep.
2 games this year, once at Seaton against Unley Jets, and then again on the weekend, I had Woodville South against Portland. Both Portland and Unley Jets, I had to stop the game because the A grade was warming up behind the ground, behind the goals. And on both occasions, players had a crack at me about it. Can a note be sent out to teams to advise them that it is a rule and that they can't be doing that?
Yeah, I can see if it can be included in John's update. But I think
I'd say I raised it at least 3 times last year, and I've already raised it twice this year.
Yeah, I know, but I think Rob, you're doing the right thing. I'm not sure that everyone is being as consistent as you. So I think, I know that sometimes messages get sent out to clubs and they end up in the club delegate's hands or whoever's hands, and it doesn't get passed on. And the only way they really learn is if we do what you're doing on game day. So you can say it's a direction from the umpiring manager that that you ought to do that. So don't say it's what you're just doing because you want to do it. It's a direction from me to make sure that those areas are cleared before in the B grade. And yeah, I can mention it to John, but I really don't know whether any more messages. The clubs have been told before. I think it's really just up to us to keep enforcing it on a week by week basis. And as frustrating as it is, they'll eventually get the message. There are some grounds worse than others. So we've talked about Hope Valley and Glandore, two particularly ovals that have been a problem. But yeah, it does happen at different grounds, that's for sure. All right. Anything else? All right. Good to speak to you all. We'll be out there, of course, on Wednesday night at Adelaide Uni Oval. Look forward to seeing you all then.